What's going on, folks? We are doing a recast of a Clown Fiesta off-race TVP from earlier today, or whenever you guys are watching this. This is going to be the pink Protoss, Mr. Timbo Slice, going up against the yellow Terran, Evan Lee. So yeah, both these guys are Zerg players. So they're playing off race because they don't want to play ZVZ. Going to be a little bit mismatched if they were to play that. So yeah, off race, Clown Fiesta, but a little bit of chit chat going on because Timbo does off race as Protoss once in a while, and his Protoss is okay. It's decent. Kevin, on the other hand, doesn't really play Terran ever, except for these Clown Fiesta matches. So a little bit of banter going on. Kind of, I guess, just kind of saying that Timbo has the advantage, and yeah, I would give him the advantage in this exact matchup. So Kevin gonna be opening on the low ground. Very early second supply depot. Don't really need that yet. As we can see, he's at 20 out of 23. He's going to be building his command center. Doesn't even help complete the wall or anything. So, yeah. Don't really need that. But of course, he's not a Terran player. And this base is really late. This SCV has been waiting here for centuries, it feels like. Timbo going for the low ground as well. The full wall, not that important in this matchup. Nexus at a timely manner. Single gas. You do usually see more gases. And there's the second gas, because Protoss units and tech tends to be pretty expensive. Second gateway, not really sure what's the motivation behind that location, but Timbo kind of messing up here. I don't know why this Stalker was so late, but this Reaper gonna get three kills for practically free. Stalker's gonna come up, but can we find a fourth kill? No, maybe not. But Reaper is gonna get on out of there. 3 kills under his belt. That is not too shabby. The Stalker woke up late and was not able to save his 3 pro buddies. Robotics facility is the follow-up from Timbo Slice. That is usually how he opens his Protoss games. He does like to get that fast observer. Reaper gonna dive back into the natural. Weakens up another pro, but that's all it's really gonna accomplish there. Back on the Terran side of things, Kevin is going for another barracks at home. Starport as well. He's got a tech lab on this factory, but nothing being made out of that. So kind of awkward there. He does have a tech lab on the barracks as well, researching STEM. So he's going to have a pretty fast STEM reactor going down on the barracks, and reactor going down on the starport as well, most likely for double medevac production. Reaper gonna jump back in and just suicide, I guess. I don't think it even spotted all too much. No, never jumped back into the main, so is not aware of that robotics facility. Observer is out. Gonna be flying on over to the Terran side of things to see what it can see. And we've got a Twilight Council on the way as well. Timbo does love his blink, so I would expect that to be the research coming out of there. Factory finally being utilized. Producing a Cyclone out of there. Interesting unit composition, Marine Cyclone. Just singular on that Cyclone for now. Single medevac being produced, second one queued up. Making use of that reactor, I suppose. But Kevin, his SCV count quite poor, and he's got double refinery in the natural. Only one SCV mining out of each of those. The mineral saturation 5 out of 16. What is this? I mean, even if you're not a Terran player, it's like StarCraft 101 to make workers. So Kevin definitely leaving a lot to be desired with his play here. Got a medevac loaded up with 8 Marines, going for a bit of drop-a-rooney, and this has the potential to do some damage because Timbo, he's quite out of position here at his natural. It's going to take him some time to walk all the way back up. Now luckily for Timbo, Kevin dropping in the corner, the Marines are going to start shooting, and that's going to tip him off. So no workers lost, actually. It does take out one pylon, which is annoying, but I mean, 5 Marines going down, that could have been a whole lot worse for Timbo. I think Kevin should have just dropped right here behind the mineral line and gotten some probe kills. And all this really accomplished is delaying that blink a little bit, but the pylon finishes up, so that's going to commence. Kevin does have a supply lead, and he has been doing a decent job at constantly producing units, as we do see the army supply going to be favoring the Terran player for now. Scan going down just to see the army composition of Timbo. It's very standard gateway man kind of style. Also worth noting that this robo facility hasn't really been doing a whole lot. I guess it was unpowered for a minute there, but only just now making a immortal. And we do have another observer with the Protoss army. Timbo already has his 3rd up, so Kevin gonna be falling behind in the eco department. He has been SCVing up a little bit, only trailing by 5. These gases still kind of weird with one guy on each geyser. Some idle SCVs. In general, kind of poor management here, I suppose you could call it. Yeah, these SCVs, they've finished their buildings, kind of just idling. These guys over there, that one went back to work. But Timbo, his 3rd is already booming. 17 out of 16 is going to put some guys onto the geyser. Once that's done, he's getting more gateways. Things are looking pretty good for Timbo. The only thing I could say is spend your warp-ins. You have all these gates. Warp stuff in. You don't get that time back. Like if he maintained his warp-ins, you get a lot more units. But I guess, what is that? 7 zealots just warping in, and that's helpful. But this Terran army is looking pretty scary, to be honest. The only thing I have to say about that is, where's the splash damage? Splash damage, very important for all races. You really do want siege tanks or widow mines, and especially in this matchup, ghosts eventually. Timbo, his splash damage of choice going to be disruptors. Disruptors are so powerful. Kind of difficult to use, but fun to use. Scans going down, not sure where. Oh, just scanning that observer. Good awareness by Kevin. Seeing that little glimmer of the invisible boy. So that's going to deny Timbo the information. Now Timbo he is also getting extended thermal lance for Colossus, which is a little odd because he doesn't have any Colossus and he's not getting any Colossus. Let's see if he does eventually. 6 more gateways going down. That's a lot of gateways. And Timbo not even using the ones he has currently. Army supply heavily favoring the Terran right now. If he just goes for a push, I think he could honestly just win. But let's see. Looks like both armies going to be moving out at the same time. Upgrades going to be favoring Timbo quite a bit. So that's one thing he has in his advantage. But 30 odd supply lead for the Terran player. This observer gonna spot that. So Timbo gonna back off. Sends in 1 Disruptor Nova and gets a pretty nice shot there. And Kevin looks like a little bit deterred by what he saw there. Gonna back off for now. Timbo going for the 4th base now. Kevin does have his 3rd. And a lot of money for the Terran player. No real advancement of the tech there. Two additional supply depots. And Timbo just kind of rotating around onto the right side. Scan going down on the Zelnaga tower. Does he spot that little stalker? Not sure if he really spotted that, but looks like Kevin wants to go for an attack, and here he goes. Big stim on in. And huge Disruptor Nova. Oh my goodness. Another one. Wow. I think that might have just won the game for Timbo just like that. That is the importance of splash damage. Look at this. The Stalkers, the Zealots, they just clean up the rest of the bio. And Kevin forced to return home with these empty medevacs. Oh, there's one with a few Marauders in there, but that's not enough to really defend. Timbo gonna give his opponent some respect and back off and regroup. I think, yeah, he definitely could have just pushed and won there, but playing it safe, establishing his 4th, that's a smart decision. A lot of money from both players. Really need to make more stuff. Timbo, he has, what is it? 16 warp gates, but not really utilizing those warp-ins. There he goes. A big warp-in of Zealots there. And yeah, I mean, Timbo just kind of running away with the game now. 160 to 137 supply. 3-2 upgrades, did I see that right? No, 3-3 rather. So yeah, huge upgrade advantage for Timbo Slice. Kevin only sitting at 1-1. And now Timbo going for the kill, it looks like. Gonna take out this new 4th base and never had a chance to get up and running. And Timbo just gonna keep it going, it looks like. Kevin does have a couple Liberators, but I don't think Timbo's all too scared of that. And send out another Disruptor Nova. Huge connection once again. Here's another one. Decent connection again there. And yeah, I think this is the beginning of the end for Kevin Lee. 3rd base gonna get chopped down. Another disruptor shot, taking out a huge chunk of bio. And Kevin saying this isn't even fair. And usually that follows with a GG. There it goes. Timbo taking game number 1. Welcome back, folks. This is game number 2 in this off-race clown fiesta, and we are looking at the main base of the Terran player who was Protoss last game. It is Timbo Slice. These guys chatting once again. Kevin saying he doesn't know how to play Protoss. Timbo saying he doesn't know the hotkey to create SCVs. And I forgot, this is the yellow Protoss Kevin Lee. So, yeah, switching races this time. Timbo won with the Protoss last game. Now Kevin's the one with the Protoss pieces. Neither player really knows how to play their current race. That's what they were saying earlier. So this should be a little bit more even, a little bit more clown fiesta. As I stated, Timbo does have a bit of an advantage when he plays Protoss. Both players going for the low ground once again. I don't think either of them are really the type to go for some wacky proxy cheeses, especially with an off race. Of course, Kevin does rush as Zerg, but that is neither here nor there in this matchup. Timbo going for a very fast second command center, not even getting the orbital just yet. There it goes. And we have a Reaper on the way. Kevin going for the Cyber Core, followed by Nexus on his side of things. Kind of necessary. You can't really Nexus first because the Reaper will just get here too quickly. Worth pointing out last game that Kevin's initial Reaper did a lot of damage, but Timbo's Protoss just too good. Let's see if Timbo's Reaper can find similar success. Kevin is already making a Stalker. No Chrono Boost on it, however. So Reaper is going to have a few precious seconds to maybe find some damage as it jumps into the main now. Kind of taking a weird path. Losing maybe 1 or 2 seconds there, but here it comes. Gonna start blasting away at one probe. Does get one. Can we get another? That would be big. And yeah, it looks like 2 probe kills already. Where's that Stalker? Oh no, it's so late to the party. Just like last game, we are once again going to see 3 probes down. And this Reaper going to jump on out of there. Pretty mirrored compared to the last game. Interesting turn of events, I guess. Both players do have their expansions up. Second orbital being morphed in. And Timbo getting an additional barracks, a factory as well. But once again, nothing being produced out of these. So, what's going on? Kevin on his side of things getting another gateway. Warp gate research almost done. This Reaper looks like he's going to jump back in and see if he can get some scouting. Maybe another probe would be nice, but I don't think he'll be able to. Wait, hold on. What? The Stalker's snoozing on the job. We're going to get... Oh! If he focus fired that probe, he could have gotten it for sure. But 4 kills to that Reaper's name. Not too shabby. Both players not producing anything. So Army supply tied at 4. We do have a siege tank being produced now. Lots of barracks in the main base not being utilized whatsoever. Double engineering bay also not being utilized. Okay, there we go. 1-1 being researched there. So Timbo always on top of his upgrades. That is very good discipline by him. However, sometimes it does bite him because he likes to wait for the upgrades. and it could lead to missed opportunities. I don't think that'll really come into play this game. Starport in production, double forge going down on the way of the Protoss, and very low gas count for KvT. We do normally see more gases from Protoss, and there we go, third and fourth gases being made now. And not too many units, so KvT does have a lot of gas being floated, but if you want your 1-1 upgrades, if you want to research Blink or something, if you want to get those higher tech units out of, say, the robotics facility or Stargate, you definitely do want more gas. Third base going down for KvT as he walks out onto the map with his 5 stalkers. Not really going to be able to accomplish a whole lot because there is a tank on the way of the Protoss player, and I think once he eats that tank shot, KvT should back out of there. He's taken a lot of unnecessary damage just to get a single supply depot. I don't think that was really worth it. He lost 1 stalker. Did he lose a stalker? Not really sure. But 1 supply depot taking so much damage on these stalkers, I don't think that was worth it. And units lost. Okay, so didn't lose a stalker. That's a little bit better, but still a questionable decision there. Timbo being super safe with a bunker over here as well. It is empty, but I guess it looks intimidating. And KvT does have his third up and running. Well, it's up, not really running, but that's more than you can say about Timbo, who doesn't even have his third CC in the main yet. So the shoe's kind of on the other foot here. It was Timbo with the Protoss last game, who got a fast third, lost several probes. So let's see if KvT can recreate what Timbo accomplished last game. Timbo does have the supply lead, 91-77, but he is behind on workers. The mule's gonna make up for that just a bit. Scan going down, so does see the double forge, does see that there is an observer. So maybe Timbo can keep an eye out for that glimmer later on. Colossus being made now, as well as that thermal lance upgrade. Super important if you are going for Colossus. Timbo is chilling in the main with most of his units. Not really sure why. He is gonna start moving them now. Observer gonna make its way into the main base. And there's a third command center for Timbo, but super late there. And this observer gonna spot pretty much the entirety of the main base. And KvT going for a 4th base as well now. His economy is absolutely crushing. 66 workers. This 3rd base super oversaturated. Maybe want to get those additional gases relatively soon. But once again, look at all these warp gates not really being utilized whatsoever. KvT's army at a very low count of 29. Look at how much money he has. 2.7 thousand minerals and just not making anything. It's so crazy. And oh my god, this Colossus is stuck. Gonna be blasting down the robotics facility. That is not the ideal choice. Maybe take out the forge, because the forge only costs minerals. Timbo gonna be moving out now, and he does have a huge army lead. Keep that in mind. Now these siege tanks getting very ahead of themselves. Oh my god, this is one of the scariest things while playing Terran. When and where to siege your tanks. And yeah, got a little too ambitious with those, losing all 3 tanks, but his army lead is still absolutely massive. Kevin warping in the slow warp fields. Maybe he doesn't know the exact mechanics of how that works. But those stalkers, very late. This Colossus finally joining the party. Did take out that robotics facility there. 2 Liberators sieging up the natural base of Kevin. Gonna be taking out a total of 9 probes in that. A little harassment is gonna lose 1. I would like to see that double-pronged attack. This base, this 3rd base, completely wide open, but can't expect too much out of these off-racing players. And look at the bank for Kevin. Now he's realizing he needs more gas. Those geysers could have gone down several minutes ago, Kevin. Warping in some more zealots. Doesn't look like they have charge or anything. What upgrades? Yeah, only just now starting his blink research. But to go back to that robotics facility costs, I think, 100 gas. So taking that out, bit of a waste, especially since neither of these forges were researching at the time. Probably would have been a better idea to take out those. One of them. Anyways, Kevin has rebuilt his robotics facilities here. And still not really spending his money. 2,000 minerals. Likewise for Timbo, actually. Who is finally getting his 3rd base. And look at all these barracks not producing anything. This factory also just... it hurts me to see this. This bunker, yeah, it's intimidating, but salvage it. And make more stuff. Medevacs just doing nothing over here. Kevin does have his 4th base now. Still with the worker lead, despite losing however many probes to the Liberator harassment. These gases not really being mined, only 1 probe on that one. Going for a 5th base. Wow. This is some intense macro from Kevin. I don't even see him play like this when he plays his main race of Zerg. But the army supply still favoring Timbo quite heavily. Both players' upgrades pretty evenly timed, actually. Both players gonna get their 2-2 at about the same time. And I do like this tank count for Timbo Slice. That was something that was lacking for Kevin when he was playing Terran. And, oh my god, look at how many Colossus there are! What is that? 7 Colossus! That is a lot of damage. That'll just melt the poor bio units. Can you imagine being a Marine or Marauder and you see this 30-story tall Colossus just beaming lasers at you? Oh my god. And here comes the engagement. Tanks are not even sieged up. The Protoss getting such a favorable engagement here. Only 3 tanks left standing, that one in the back, and they're actually dealing so much damage, but these Colossus, like I said, absolutely melting the poor infantry units. Timbo's supply absolutely plummeting here. The tanks do get cleaned up, and with it, I think Timbo is dead. Having gone for a cheeky pylon in the front here too. All that remains is Colossus, but that's more than you can say about the Terran player. And even under all this fire, not utilizing all his structures. Look at these barracks not being utilized. Look at these factories not being utilized. Marines, they are going to do absolutely fucking nothing against Colossus. And we're going to see a GG in... Oh, there it goes. I was going to say, like, 1 second, but it was less than 1 second, and Kevin takes game number 2. Welcome back, folks. This is the third and final game in this off-race clown fiesta, and we are getting even clownier. This is gonna be a PvT once again. Our pink Protoss, Timbo Slice. But this time, he's playing at 70% HP. So, take a look at this Nexus. Only has 700 shields, 700 HP. Probes only have 14 shields, 14 HP. And just chatting about the last game, Timbo saying he could have held if he sieged his tanks properly. And yeah, maybe he was very late on that final siege in that fight, and losing like, what was it, 4 or so siege tanks right off the bat. And yeah, siege tanks, super powerful, super useful unit. Definitely, maybe could have swayed the game there. And up in the top left, at 100%, it is the yellow Terran, Kevin Lee. So yeah, in a straight PvT, Timbo would definitely have the advantage. But at 70% HP, I don't know. It's really strange playing at a lower percentage, because yeah, everything looks the same, but then when you actually fight, your units just die so quickly. And we'll see if this initial Reaper is going to be able to get a bunch more kills. And oh, this is a little scary already. The cybernetics core a bit late. It looks like it was it core after Nexus, or I don't know the exact timing, but Stalker only just now being made. It does have a chrono boost on it, so that's gonna help. Reaper already on its way. Looks like it might not have been rallied properly because it was a little bit late. But let's see if this Reaper can find some kills. Stalker coming out at just the right time. But keep in mind, Timbo has very low HP on all his units. One probe already going down, but oh no! The Stalker cutting the corner. Super nice movement there. I don't know if that was intentional, but if it was, very nicely done by Timbo Slice, cutting it off and taking out that Reaper after only one probe kill. That is not too bad. Both players do have their second bases up. Kevin not getting the second orbital. That's a big mistake, actually. He got one SCV, he's making 2 more, and with that money you could have gotten the orbital already. The orbital pays for itself after the first mule, so there is no reason not to get an orbital. And this is something I look at a lot when I'm watching a Terran game or scouting a Terran. Still no orbital near. That is a huge mistake, I would say. Timbo once again going for that robotics facility, gonna get the observer. He has the Twilight Council researching charge right away, and that's interesting. He does usually prefer blink first, but I do think charge is the superior upgrade. Allows your zealots to just close in on the tanks, and maybe if they have Widow Mines instead, it lets you drag the Widow Mine shots into the bio, and it just makes your zealots faster. So a very good upgrade. Does take a long time to research. Oh, it looks like he forgot the warp gate research, only just starting it a few seconds ago, so that's a pretty big mistake on Timbo's side as well. Nice to see Kevin has finally gotten that orbital there. Loading up a Hellion drop. That's not very common in this matchup, but could be pretty decent, especially considering Timbo barely has army units. He does get 2 additional stalkers just popping on out. And wait a second. If you're just going stalkers, why'd you get charge first? And a Hellion drop going straight into the mineral line, and once again, these probes are weaker than normal. So, and they're lining up. That is a lot of dead probes. Oh my goodness gracious. Oh Lord. Oh my God. Oh no. Oh my God. Now, this observer interface, it doesn't show how many went down, but if I had to guess, that was like 20 or so probes, and GG gets called right away. Oh my God. Just like that, 5.5 minutes. And let's actually see how many probes were killed there. 33 in total. It was that one from the Reaper, so 32 lost to that Hellion drop. And Kevin gonna run away with the series.